Welcome to the Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of season 2 of the Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Nico Cardarelli. We hope you all enjoyed episode 7. It was really great catching up with Laura Mark and hearing how successful the girls and women's virtual camp was. And it was really amazing hearing all of those powerful testimonials from some of our biggest fans, blind hockey moms. We had mothers from coast to coast share what the sport of blind hockey means to them and their families. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend that you check out our Mother's Day special edition episode. Today's episode is the season 2 finale. Thank you to everyone who has taken part in the podcast so far, as we've had so many amazing guests share their stories. This series has been a great way for all of us to keep in touch and promote the parasport of blind hockey. We understand that it hasn't been an easy year, and we want to thank you all for following us and listening to every episode. In this episode, we're going to sit down with the staff of Canadian Blind Hockey as we chat with Executive Director Matt Morrow and Program Manager Luca DeMontis and hear about some of their plans for next season. And hey, don't forget to check us out across our social media platforms. And now you can download the Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, and Google Play. Well, I'm now here with Canadian Blind Hockey Executive Director Matt Morrow and Program Manager Luca DeMontis. Guys, thanks for coming on the show. How are you both doing?
Hey, Nico, I'm well. Thanks for having us.
Nico, everything's going good here. Looking forward to this.
Excellent stuff. Matt, we'll start with you because people want to hear from the man in charge, the man at the top. We know it's a team effort between you and Luca, but Matt, it has been such a different year than what Canadian blind hockey would typically be used to. So what are some of the things that have kept the organization moving forward in the right direction during this wacky year of 2021?
Yeah, it's been a strange season, Nico. I'd actually like to correct you on something, and it's something I saw on Twitter. It was an organizational chart for sport and recreation, and it was reimagined. And ultimately, the message was it was the participants that are the people at the top. So it goes our children, our youth, our players, our key volunteers, and then Luke and I are really we're the base, we're the foundation, we're the staff that works to enact the will of our community, as it were. But yeah, it's been an interesting year with no in-person programs. Obviously, virtual programs like many organizations have been a saving grace in this time. Things like this podcast, webinar series. The national team's been meeting on a monthly basis, and we had the virtual town hall that you were a part of that had over 100 people from the community. So lots of great events like that. The women's camp just happened. We got a children and youth camp coming up. So the virtual thing has been really great for us. And then also just working on our internal business operations. So making sure that when we come out of the pandemic, the charity as a business is really rock solid and able to continue to deliver the programs. And I think having a little break from constantly being on the road and putting things on has been a bit of a blessing for the organization, and we've been able to grow in some unexpected ways, and we're going to be a stronger organization for it.
It's certainly interesting to hear the way things have adapted from an organizational standpoint. Maybe in terms of some of the on ice programming, Luca, let's touch on your opinion here because, depending on where the programs were from coast to coast to coast across Canada, maybe some folks got on the ice. The majority of folks were not able to get on the ice this season. With all that said, Canadian Blind Hockey did an incredible job growing their presence on social media. What do you credit that to?
Nico, you're definitely correct. There was some teams that were able to get on the ice, and there was some players from across the country that were lucky and very fortunate. Trust me, very, very fortunate to get on the ice. So they kept growing, they kept improving. We can't forget like the Moncton Sea Cats, right? This was their first year as a program, and they got on the ice. So good for them. And Simone Richard, huge leader behind there. So definitely kudos to them and getting on the ice. But Nico, you are correct. Our goal was to grow, right? And social media right now, it's I feel like it's everywhere, right? If it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And for us, it's a way to help promote the game, promote the sport, right? So I think by using that platform and using those outlets that we have, we were able this year to interact with individuals, not only in Canada, but from around the world, and really showcase the sport that we all love and the sport that we believe one day will be a Paralympic sport. But until then, I think we're going to keep using these platforms. We're going to keep promoting the sport. We've got many great ambassadors from across this country who are participants of Canadian blind hockey, that play the sport, that love the sport. So to see them post a video stick handling in their driveway and shooting the adaptive blind hockey puck, that makes us know that we're doing something right. And it's easy for us after to just to send them a text message for a thank you and ask if they could send us the video so we could share it, and it makes our job easier.
Yeah, certainly some very exciting stuff on social from Canadian Blind Hockey. Of course, even the NHL jumping on board this past season, and of course, Canadian Blind Hockey doing a great job sharing and reposting that content as well. Matt, let's jump back over to you because I wanted to touch on. Maybe some of the big players behind the scenes that help fund the programs and really make everything possible. Because truly, Canadian blind hockey would not be where we are today without the sponsors and partners that we have on board. To you, how important is it to have great relationships with partners such as the ones you have with AMI, CNIB Foundation, Daniels Family Foundation, Electra Health, and Mannion, just to name a few?
Yeah, Nico, I think as an organization, I mean, we're really blessed to have those five main partners, and they all stuck by us 100% during this year when we were not able to offer in-person programming. So I think that is a testament to the strong partnership. It begins with our presenting partner, AMI. AMI has been our presenting partner for 10 years now. And, without them, there is no Canadian blind hockey. And so they've helped promote our programs and events, and actually they have something really interesting coming up. They've got their first ever virtual event on June 3rd called AMI Connect, and I know that's going to be interesting, and we encourage the entire Canadian blind hockey community to check it out. And then of course our national program partner, CNIB Foundation, we work with them at the grassroots level in communities across the country as well as at the national level. We actually have an interesting project going on in partnership with the research team at CNIB Foundation, where we're hoping to get a grant confirmed from Sport Canada to launch a 3-year program investigating kind of attitudes towards participating in sport, specifically among children and youth who are blind or partially sighted. So not only just for hockey, we're going to be working with the CNIB Foundation team to try and find new ways of recruiting new participants and really grow the youth component of our annual summer camp. So that's really exciting. And of course, our other three, the Daniel Family Foundation, Electra Health, and Mannion. I mean, when the three of them came on in 2018, it allowed the organization to grow from one staff to 2 staff. So that was a huge change in our ability to offer programs coast to coast and even our international efforts. I heard Luca just talk about how not only in Canada, in certain places the sport was going, in certain places it was shut down, but it's also been happening around the world. The United States, they've got a tournament in about 20 days coming up. Russia had their first ever tournament. I mean, how cool is that? Last month there was a 3-team blind hockey tournament in Russia. So The sport's growing everywhere, and we just can't wait to get back out on the ice once it's safe and we're able to do so.
Oh, very exciting and very cool stuff, especially that program with CNIB Foundation. Can't wait to hear more about that. Luca, Matt kind of touched on it there a little bit because of the odd year it's been within the Canadian borders. There's obviously been that shift from on ice programming to virtual programming just because we haven't all been able to get back on the ice together yet. So, how important is it for you to have been able to make that shift in terms of hosting events like the virtual workshop and virtual development camps?
No, yeah, it's been a huge adjustment. It's been a major shift. Of course, we all want to be on the ice, right? We all want to be in the arena, and you complain it's a little bit cold in this arena, but right now I think we'd all take that chill in our bones just to be in an arena and on the ice. But if we can't be together in an arena, we have to really brainstorm and figure out what's the best way we can be together and what's the best way we can continue to grow the community. And I think that's one thing that the board, myself and Matt, we really emphasized was growing the community and growing the sport, right? We didn't want to take a year off. We wanted to continue. There was some great momentum over the last few years, right? So we wanted to keep rolling with that. And virtual learning, virtual workshops, virtual webinars, whatever they may so-called have the name to, I think it's just so important that you're doing something, right? You're exercising your brain, you're exercising a component that's just so important, right? We've all been cooped up, we've all been home for the last year, and it's been difficult on everyone, right? Including myself. So if I said, how important it was, it's the truth, right? Like I looked forward to every virtual workshop. I looked forward to every webinar because I knew that I was going to communicate with some of my friends from across this country who I haven't seen in so long, right? So it was definitely very important, and we wanted to emphasize that, right? And thank you to all the participants, you know what I mean, that attended every program that we hosted over the year. We had incredible numbers, right? We had numbers shattering kind of quotas that we thought we were going to target, right? So it's been huge, it's been important, but yeah, I just can't wait to get back on the ice, and I'm hoping that's around the corner kind of thing.
Yeah, hopefully we can all get back on the ice sooner than later. But Luca, one of your roles within Canadian Blind Hockey is general manager of the Canadian National Blind Hockey Team. Can you share with our viewers how unique this season was for the national team program?
It was very unique. This is a group, this is a program that has very competitive, spirited individuals, right? And I think it was challenging, but the coaching staff, the players, everybody rose to the challenge. And you know what? I think we grew closer as a team and as a unit over this last year than we would have in a regular year, right? In a regular year, we only see each other at the kind of selection camp, a couple tournaments and so forth. This year, we saw each other every month. It might have been virtually, but we had some workshops that were incredible, right? Like get to know a little bit about your teammate, right? So every teammate would send me 3 things about themselves that nobody would know. And it was literally like, guess which one of your teammates this was, right? So we had some great team building workshops. We had a mental health professional come from Full Performance, Danny Patterson. We had a nutritionist come just talk about us, what we should be properly eating, right? Because not everybody has been training the same over the last year, right? But it's been a difficult year. Looking forward to getting back together. We will be hosting our national team training day coming up Sunday, May 30th. So the guys on the team have some fitness quotas that we're looking to meet for the next month, just to be sure that we are ready and in shape. And most importantly, we don't want to risk any injuries when we do get back on the ice together, right? Because I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of high revving engines ready to fly down those wings, getting some passes.
Yeah, I'm sure that all the players across Canadian blind hockey will have a bit more jump in their stride when they first hit the ice. But yeah, especially our national team program, that all those guys will be raring to go once they get the green light. Matt, you touched on an exciting program coming up with CNIB Foundation. Is there any other exciting updates about the sport of blind hockey in Canada that you want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole bunch of different projects on the go. I started to make some notes, and I realized that one of the things this pause in in-person programming has done is it's given us more time to meet with existing partners, but also new prospective partners. So we are really growing our network, and we are seeing some very interesting opportunities come. And again, some of the projects we're working on are long overdue. One of the most interesting ones to me has been the Blind Hockey History Project. I used to think the sport of blind hockey was invented in 1972 with the Ice Owls. And so part of the genesis of this project was that I thought next year was the 50th anniversary of the sport. As it turns out, once we started doing the research, the sport's been played as early as 1935 at the W. Ross McDonald School for the Blind, including a demonstration game in 1939 in Hamilton. So the sport's got some really early roots that I was previously unaware at the blind schools in Montreal, in Halifax, in Brantford. And then another note that came out just last week as we dig deeper into this, in the 1970s, it was actually played at a blind school in Sweden. And I have not yet had a chance to track down anybody to speak to regarding that, but there is mention of international competition. So Who knows, maybe Sweden and Finland played a series in the 70s that, we were previously unaware. So these are all really neat things, and they're going to be coming out in one form or another in the next month or so as we kind of collect these stories from people that have been involved for a really long time. Other projects we're working on, we have a new partner at the Ontario Parasport Collective, and that's an organization that honestly we were previously unaware of their existence, and now they've come on. They've taken us in their Pathways 2 project. Blind hockey is one of their sports now, and they're helping to develop a high performance stream for the parasport of blind hockey in Ontario. So that's really exciting stuff, and this is our third year where we've really worked more closely with the W. Ross McDonald School for the Blind. We've supported their program for the past 10 years in terms of like pucks and jerseys and stuff, but really it's only been since Luca came on board as a full-time staff in Ontario that we've been kind of running the program there. And we're excited to announce that we're going to be doing a short-term, it's called the short-term program, where it's a weekend project at the W. Ross McDonald School for the Blind. So hopefully that's going to happen sometime in the next school year, where we'll get a whole bunch of new kids introduced to the sport. So, I could talk all day. We're starting to put together our coaching resources. And really that's something that's a little long overdue. We've got a lot of wonderful volunteer coaches, and we've come up with a lot of great techniques for coaching new participants who are blind or partially sighted. And we've just never taken the time to write them down before. So hopefully that resource is going to be coming out, by the end of this summer. And then once it's safe and we're able, we're actually projecting to do a video series with it. So a video series that will show new coaches how to work with an athlete who's blind or partially sighted in a hockey setting. So, and one more thing to announce, and this is actually a fresh announcement. I was just talking with our national team goalie coach, Joey Ali, last week, and we've decided we're going to do the first virtual goalie camp. So that's going to be open to goalies all around the world who are blind, who want a training camp specific to their position. And we're going to work on finding a weekend sometime in probably June. So lots of exciting stuff on the go.
Oh, that's really amazing. Kind of a little bit for everyone in there. That's super exciting to hear about. And we'll definitely keep tabs on that. Of course, connect and follow with Canadian Blind Hockey across social media for all the latest updates on all the amazing programs and initiatives, as Matt just alluded to. Luca, one of those amazing programs that are coming up on the schedule is the Canadian Blind Hockey Children and Youth Virtual Blind Hockey Camp. Can you touch on this camp and tell us a little bit about it and when it will be happening?
Definitely. This is going to be a fun day. Saturday, June 5th, 12 to 3 Eastern Time. It'll be led by myself and Canadian national team young star Joe Fornazier. So it's going to be a fun day. We've got various workshops planned. Looking forward to it. Get up, register right now. Registration's going great right now. So we encourage you to take part in it. It's going to be fun. We're trying to make it very interactive. Kudos to Joe Fornazier. He's really taken leadership with this project. He's got some great ideas. So I'm looking forward to it. And as I said, it's just another way for the community to get together, right? If we can't be together in the rink, let's get together the next best way. And thanks to Zoom for that, because we've been able to do this over the last year. So it's going to be fun. We've got some stick handling workshops. We're going to have a group workout. We're going to have some goal setting workshops that will be led by Joe Fornazier. So yeah, definitely register, sign up, and can't wait to see everybody at it.
That's super exciting to hear about. And again, check out CanadianBlindHockey.com and get registered for that children and youth virtual blind hockey camp today. Matt, looking ahead to the 2021-2022 season, what can we expect for Canadian blind hockey?
Well, I mean, fingers crossed, Nico, from everything that we've been reading with other organizations and seeing that, the OHL and the ECHL have already announced their schedules. We're more or less expecting a quote unquote, typical blind hockey season. So we're hoping that the programs across the country are all allowed to resume. And once we get the new program out of Windsor started in partnership with CNIB Foundation, that's going to make 14 programs across the country. So, considering 10 years ago, we only had 4, pretty exciting growth to see how this has come. So we're hopeful that, we can support the various programs in their home community. And in terms of events, Canada is tentatively slated to go down and compete with USA for the 3rd ever international series in October in St. Louis. We're hoping to host our Western regionals in Calgary and are just in the midst of trying to secure some ice for November. And then, of course, the big one, the return of the 2022 Canadian National Blind Hockey Tournament. When we last hosted that event in 2019, we hit a record with nearly 150 participants. We had 5 divisions on the go, from children and youth, separate children and youth divisions, actually, a low vision development division, an open division, and then an international series. So, with the growth in Finland, the growth in Russia, the growth in England, and the United States, I would expect that event to be the biggest blind hockey event in the history of the sport for sure. So, and then again, that's typically the last weekend of March, and we've been assured that once things are back to normal, we'll have our regular dates. So really, really exciting stuff to think about. That it's been tough, and we're all chomping at the bit. We're hopeful that we're going to have camp the first week of August, but again, I mean, with the restrictions the way they are currently, I guess that's really 50-50, and we'll make a decision as an organization by July 1st if that's if it's safe and reasonable to host it. But if not, by the fall, we're going to be raring to go.
Oh, that's super exciting, man. You've got me wanting to lace up my skates right now, knowing that we're that close potentially to returning to action on the ice. So that's super exciting to hear about it. Of course, we all wait for that moment where we're told it's safe to return to action and we can all be back on the ice together again. Well, guys, we're about to wrap things up, but it's our final episode of season 2. What a great season it's been. And it wouldn't be right ending it without doing a little bit of rapid fire. You all at home know that sound. Let's get our rapid fire segment going for episode 8 of season 2 of the Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast. But guess what? We're going to have a little bit of a twist in this rapid fire segment. Luca is going to take over the hosting duties, and I'm going on the hot seat.
That is correct. You're on the hot seat right now, bud. Let me just pull up my questions. All right. So I interviewed every special guest following season 1, and I came up with some questions for you. All right. Let's hear that whistle one more time.
You're quizzing me on season 1? Folks, I do not know what he's about to ask me. I have no clue what's going on here.
All right. So this was an easy one. Jersey number.
My jersey number?
Your jersey number.
Okay, I got to give you 2 answers. As a player, it's number 2. That's what I wore as a player. As a goalie, it's number 29.
There you go. All right. Favorite food?
Are we talking pregame meal or just food?
What? Just food.
Oh, pizza. Pizza or pasta?
Nice, nice. All right. Favorite hockey movie?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. I think I have to go with Mighty Ducks. That was right in my wheelhouse as a kid. Goldberg, that's
Classic.
Emilio Estevez. That was such a lovable cast. I got to go with the Mighty Ducks.
So one, two, or three?
I'm OG number one. I know that's a bit of a controversial pick.
D5, District 5.
Yeah, bro, exactly. I don't even have to say anything else. Exactly.
Perfect. All right. Favorite hockey team?
Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs, of course.
Nice.
Duh.
Go Leafs, go. All right. All-time favorite hockey player? We know you're a goalie, so you could throw a goalie in there if you want.
Man, that is a really good question. I have a big soft spot for Wayne Gretzky. I loved him as a kid, even though I was a defenseman. There were a lot of goalies that I really loved watching as a kid playing. Oh man. You know what? I'm going to say Doug Gilmore because he's a friend of Canadian Blind Hockey. I've had the chance to meet him a number of times, and he's been so gracious to our program and to me. So I got to go with number 93, Doug Gilmore.
Definitely one of my all-time favorite Leafs until number 34 stepped in the scene recently. But all right, all right. So we know you're a goalie. We know you've put on the blindfold a few times for us and you helped us out. I've been lucky enough to watch it a couple times. But now put yourself in that situation. You're in net, blindfolds on. Who is the one player you do not want to have on that breakaway? Pass is good. They're in on the blue line. Who's that one player you're scared to go against? Because you know everybody in the community is listening.
I got a quick story I got to tell about this because this basically happened to me one time when I put the blindfold on. And I'll give you the answer as well because there's a few people not on the national team that I would consider there as well. Guys, you can
Definitely.
really fire the puck. Some of our girls too. But quick story. Okay, so I was filling in one time for the Ice Owls for a Sunday skate, and they had me put the blindfold on. And typically I wear a neck guard, but I had misplaced it. I couldn't find my neck guard for that skate. But I figured, you know what, whatever, I'll be fine, not a big deal. Well, Wyatt Harvey, Canadian national blind hockey team defenseman, is playing that day, and he's got the puck at the blue line, and he rips one. I mean, he lets a rocket fly. And I picked this thing up maybe about 2 feet before it's in front of me. So I have no idea this thing is coming at me. And I just hear it fly by my head, literally neck height, right past my head. And I have this moment where I think to myself, oh my God, if that hit me in the throat, my announcing career is over. I cannot go blindfolded without full equipment again. So, for the sake of that story and that real life experience, Wyatt Harvey is right there in that discussion.
All right. This question here was actually from one of our youngest special guests on season 2, and it blew me away. So it definitely had to be included. If you were not in media announcing and everything that you're in right now, what would you be doing?
Wow, that's an amazing question. Uh, I don't know. Honestly, I before I got into media, I worked almost every job you can think of. I ran a restaurant. I worked at the airport as a baggage handler. I did retail. I did construction. I kind of did everything. And then I kind of fell into media unexpectedly, and it just felt like the right path for me. I honestly don't know what I would be doing if I weren't doing what I am doing. And I'm so lucky and blessed to have the experiences that I have and to work with great groups like you guys at Canadian Blind Hockey. Um, I guess for the sake of answering the question, I don't know. I'd have my own food truck. Let's say that.
Definitely can't wait to try the pizza on that food truck. All right. We're wrapping up. Two more left. Role model. Biggest role model.
Ooh, that's a good question too. I'm gonna say my parents. My parents were both very hardworking, blue collared, salt of the earth people. They weren't given much in life, and they made the most of every opportunity they had. And they really taught me a lot about work ethic and you know fighting through adversity, dealing with adversity, having a positive attitude when things get tough. I don't think I'd have any of the successes I'd have without my family and my parents. So for sure, my mom and my dad are my biggest role models.
Definitely, I have to agree with you there. And I think it's a perfect time to say hi to all our parents because I know they're definitely watching, the DeMontises, the Cardarellis, and the Morrows. So thanks for watching and thanks for all the help. Last one, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this because we've done a lot of these episodes together and you know it's coming because I could hear your laugh. Your top 3 blind hockey memories, Nico.
Hey, I was laughing because you started using my lingo. Remiss if I didn't. That's straight out of my
I,
textbook. I like
I
that.
wrote that on the paper, actually.
Okay, top 3 blind hockey memories. It's funny when I saw the script that you sent a few minutes before the show, and I saw you were doing the rapid fire. There were no questions there. It just said Luca taking over rapid fire. I kind of figured this was coming, so I did reflect a little bit before we started recording. I think one of my top 3 memories is the very first time I was exposed to blind hockey in person. Back in 2013, when I walked into the Mattamy Athletic Center, and the first time I heard the metal puck clanking and the first exposure of seeing the athletes skate around and shoot and score and hearing the pass whistle and just all the little intricacies about the game, taking that in. For me, being a part of that first weekend in 2013 was obviously such a life-changing experience and something I'll be forever grateful for. But I think even to this day, it remains one of my top 3 memories. That was just such a perfect venue, such an amazing weekend, meeting all of you guys, basically meeting a whole new family in the long run. It remains one of my top 3 memories for sure. And again, in no particular order here, let's say number 2, I will put Pittsburgh and Ottawa in together. I'm going to put the 2 international series in together because those were such special experiences and journeys to be a part of. And really, they are their own stories. But for the sake of kind of cheating the question here, I'm going to
Yeah.
lump them in together because those were just such incredible experiences, especially that first one going down to Pittsburgh and being a part of the caravan. I don't even remember how many of us in 3 or 4 different vans driving down to Pittsburgh. And, same thing with Ottawa, just kind of everyone coming from across the country to one place. And, that sense of team, that brotherhood and just everything. It was more than just the games on the ice with both of those events. So those are very special memories to me as well. And then I think, again, no particular order, number 3 here would probably be the development camps that I've had an opportunity to be a part of. Those are such incredible experiences as well because you're truly immersed in blind hockey for those 4 or 5 days that you're there. And, I've said this to multiple people in various circles that those camps are the closest thing to a pro style training camp that I've ever witnessed. And it's incredible that, you know, we all wake up together. We all have breakfast together. We're all working out together. We're all on the ice together. We're all spending our downtime together. We're all sharing all the meals and all the routine. And there's such a sense of community and camaraderie. And whether you realize you're bonding with people or not, there's just this sense of coming together in those development camps. And again, it doesn't matter whether you're a national team player or someone who's skating at a camp for their first time. There's an opportunity there for you to be a part of something special. And the times that I've been able to be a part of it, it's been a lasting memory for me for sure.
Just wait for next year, Nico. I am so excited for camp to be going to St. Mary's University in Halifax. I mean, I can't think of a better situation. We're going to be all contained on a campus together. Our goal is going to be to have between 20 and 30 children and youth in the children and youth division.
Wow.
The national team camp typically has around 20, and then development camp probably between 20 and 30. So we're going to have almost 100 participants taking part in a week-long event. And with this much time to plan, I'm sure we're going to be able to do some pretty neat things as part of that event. So Halifax Summer 2022, here we go.
Oh, that's spectacular. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. Luca, was there anything else? Am I off the hot seat? Did I do my duty?
You're off the hot seat, but you might have to take that food truck on the road to Halifax for 2022. We'll see how that goes. As long as you're providing healthy meals for the athletes, we got a place you could park that truck.
All right. Well, I may have to rethink my menu a little bit, but hey, guys, thank you so much for being good sports. And of course, for all the amazing work that you do throughout the program. Of course, none of what's going on with Canadian blind hockey would be possible without the amazing work and tireless work that both Matt and Luca and of course the board and all the sponsors do. So thank you guys for all your efforts. And of course, thank you for supporting season 2 of the Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast.
And Nico, before we finish off, we just want to thank you from Canadian Blind Hockey and everybody. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Parasport TV, for producing this podcast, for making it accessible for everybody to view and listen to. So thanks a lot. The voice of blind hockey. I'll let you sign off, bud.
Well, as always, a big thank you to our guests for coming on today's show as we enjoyed chatting with Executive Director Matt Morrow and Program Manager Luca DeMontis from Canadian Blind Hockey. And as always, a big thank you to all of you to tuning in for today's show and all of Season 2 of the Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast. Hey, make sure you follow Canadian Blind Hockey across our social media channels and help us grow the sport of blind hockey worldwide. Don't forget to send us your emails to info@blindicehockey.com with your suggestions, as we love to hear from our community. Folks, until next time, we're signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Canadian Blind Hockey programs are brought to you by our presenting partner, AMI, our national program partner, CNIB Foundation, and national partners, Daniel Family Foundation, Electra Health, and Mannion. The Canadian Blind Hockey Podcast is produced by Parasport TV.